to the Right Now Show. We are your hosts, Julie Dawn.
Valerie Ihsan.
Joanna Bartlett.
We are broadcasting live from Tsunami Books in the nice shadowy section under Spencer Butte in Eugene, Oregon. Stop on by. We have a guest in our live audience. Thank you so much for joining us. So exciting. It is June 18th, 2018. This is episode 8.
And today we're talking about advertising for authors. But
First we check in. Let's check in about our week and how our writing life has been going. I actually did some writing this last week.
Woo! Bam.
Or MAB, or whatever this actually says when you look at it.
Mad.
MAB.
Mad.
We are mad.
So I did some writing this week. I got back into writing or working on a nonfiction book about mediumship development circles and exercise, how to have a circle and exercises that you can use if you are a part of a circle to make it fun. And I did that as part of the Word Crafters Be Right In online writing session, write-in essentially, which is free and you can join us on Tuesdays at 1. That's my plug. What did you do this week?
I got to the point where I could sit down and write and didn't get to write.
Oh,
So I had like a,
Let
no
down.
writing week, which is fine because we're making progress on a farm and trying to give the puppies a new home. And school, it was the last week of school. So I'm like totally giving myself like a totally win for just making it through the last week.
It was brutal.
It
my
was
last
brutal.
week or two of school was just, oh my God, just surviving it is a triumph. So,
Yeah.
For your kids?
huh?
For your kids?
For me,
Yes.
for me surviving,
Their
getting my
last
kids
2
through the
weeks.
last week or
I
two of
see.
school, at a graduating 5th grader and all these promotion
Yes.
activities
Damn.
was just,
Mine are up and out.
yeah.
My youngest is 17, but I won't have to deal with the graduation part until later.
Cool.
I had a fabulous meeting with Anthony Sinclair, the person who
Our guest
hosted
from-
for you,
Mhm.
when you
2
were gone.
episodes ago.
And I have a couple of new fabulous ideas for workbooks and books, so that's exciting, kind of percolating in the back. And I've been doing a lot of PowerPoint building.
That can get
Classes.
addictive. That can get
Well, it's not really addictive for me. I'm just like trying to get it done, and it's just one of the things you have to do when you're teaching classes. So
But it's,
I love PowerPoint.
yeah, I'm okay with that point. But in terms of writing, it's that trying to be succinct in your writing.
yeah, I'm not a copywriter, and I think it kind of has to. You have to make that clickbaitable, and the slides need to look nice, and I don't know. It's not my forte.
It's fine. But you're there presenting at the same
Yes.
time. The slides are just kind of backup to help you.
Yes.
And your lovely personality is going to be what's engaging and
You can pretend you're on a TED Talk. That's what I would.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, see? Take
I
something
like that.
mundane and be like, oh, I'm going to do a TED Talk today.
That sounds
to all
fun.
of my writer peeps.
All right. Checkout is over.
or check in.
Check in. And I'm checking out.
So it's mine. Okay, our main topic of today is so exciting. We're talking about advertising, particularly in the writing.
Yes.
And the first part of it we're going to talk about is when to start it, when to do it. If you are a new author, do you want to do paid advertising? Probably not, is what I would say, because you're not making any money to put into the paid advertising. So
New as in unpublished?
what's that?
Like new as in unpublished without anything?
No, like if you just have one book.
I think it probably depends on the book and how much of your, and if you have anything else in terms of your own platform and other offers that you have around the book. Like if
If
you're
you
a
have
speaker,
other offers,
or
maybe.
you're working one-on-one with people, or have teaching, or like something else that ties into the book, it might make sense to, you may already be doing other advertising for yourself as a business person as well. So I guess
So they recommend that you start advertising a book at least a year before it's released. Do you do that?
Oh God, no! I don't do anything the year before it's released.
You
Sometimes I
can
don't even know I'm
always-
writing it a year before it's released.
Right. Yes.
But you can always engage with your readers and let them know about the book project that you have.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be writing a book about blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
I'm going to be going to this place for research, and check out my blog
that
for
makes sense.
pictures. So you can start the buzz.
That's
But I'm
good.
talking more if you're a fiction author and maybe you're writing in a series, say, and if you buy, like say Facebook ads or something for that first book that you put out, you don't have any backlog.
Yeah, you don't have any back catalog.
Yeah, so for them to go to, so then your return on investment is pretty small.
Yeah.
So if you have 3 or 5 books in one genre, I've got 4 published books, but they're all in different genres, so it kind of doesn't count. So as soon as I get to 3 in the same genre, then I'll feel confident doing Amazon ads or Facebook ads, because then I'll have some place for that person to go. If they read my book and think, ooh, that's great, what else has she got? There's got to be something else there, or there's nowhere for that customer to go. It just sort of evaporates into the ether. I don't mean to like gesture in front of your face. Sorry.
I'm only going to gesture in front of Julie's face now. I think it depends where you're advertising. For instance, I found Amazon advertising for, ebooks for Kindle essentially useful no matter how many books you have in whatever genre. Because you're advertising for that specific book with keywords and similar authors around that book. Because several of my books are workbooks or journals or that kind of thing, and so I can't advertise on Amazon with them because there's no Kindle version. So like my coloring book can't advertise that on Amazon because you're only advertising it. It's weird. I don't know why they do it this way. If there's a Kindle version, even though you can buy either the print or Kindle version when you get to, the book's page. So I've actually had good return on investment for my nonfiction books. The fiction book I have, not so much, but oh well. I've kind of given up on that one. So, but for my nonfiction, no matter how many books I've had out, it's been good and helpful. Facebook ads and Instagram, I've dabbled in it a little bit, but I don't know. I haven't found it worth it.
Yeah,
Not for
I've
what I'm
also
doing
heard
at the moment. But
on some of the podcasts I listen to, I've also heard that if you can use Amazon ads to grow your mailing list, and actually Facebook ads too. If you're using it just to grow your mailing list, then that's a good idea.
I don't know how you'd use Amazon ads to grow your mailing list because
because you have to go to a book, yes. But if you have a call to action in the back
newsletter.
of your book,
Yeah.
to sign up for your newsletter,
Yeah.
that advertises a free book, say, or something like that, then you're going to get someone through the Amazon ad to buy the book. They'll read the book, then the call to action, free book offer at the end.
Yeah.
And they'll go sign up.
One thing to note with Amazon Kindle advertising, if you have a book that has any kind of resemblance of a dead body on it, they will not accept your ad.
Yeah.
And then you can be like, well, the person's not dead, but they're like, well, it's our discretion. So you may not have that ability.
So no dead bodies.
Like I did.
New
Yep.
cover time, maybe.
So, I thought about it, but I love my third book's cover so much.
But if
that-
it's worth it, I mean, if you can't advertise.
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's kind of fine where it is right now.
Yeah.
It's
Pros and
it's
cons
gotten as
to all
high
of
as
it.
it can. So
I suppose. So how to do it is, so again, you have to decide what platform, where you want to advertise. There's there's probably so many places you could advertise. I think the major ones are probably going to be Amazon, Facebook,
You can also do free
Instagram.
Booksy,
Yeah, you can, or you
Free
can do
bargain Booksy.
BookBub if you can get a book. There's different ways of kind of advertising, of getting your books out. There's Google ads. There's
I don't know if Google Ads is very effective.
for books.
one thing people overlook is contacting book review blogs. That is very helpful.
It's time consuming.
But
And it's not paid advertising.
One of my like favorite reviewers, Jen, I'm giving you a shout out. I absolutely really appreciate it when bloggers review and host, being indie. Kind of
Yeah,
awesome.
I've had some good success that way, but that's
some of it's been kind of like burn, like just not my target audience. And them coming back and saying, look, I read a couple pages and I am not your target audience. And I'm like, well, yeah, you're a dude. And this probably wouldn't be a good fit for some dudes.
Yeah. But that's more promotion as opposed to paid. Because I think we're trying to kind of narrow the scope more to paid advertising.
Some of the bloggers want money now. And I'm like,
I mean, most want like you to send a copy of the book, either hard copy or digital. So, but how to do it. So you have to decide where you're going to advertise, obviously, and how much money you want to spend on it.
You have to have a budget.
Yeah, you have to have a budget. Most of the places will, like Amazon and Facebook, will let you have a daily spend that you can do, which is great, and you want to keep an eye on.
I've heard, I don't have personal experience with this, but I've heard that Facebook will definitely take all the money that you want to spend there.
Oh, yeah.
But
And you
Amazon
kind
is
of
not.
wonder if you're getting real clicks. I do kind of wonder if they're getting
that's the experience I've had. I briefly did some Facebook advertising, and it was on Facebook and on Instagram. And so one of the good things about advertising with Facebook and Instagram is that people can comment on your ad and share it with people. That's also one of the downsides, is that people can comment on your ad and share it with people.
What platforms?
On Facebook. Definitely, Facebook and Instagram. So because my books, that I've advertised have been about mediumship and intuition development, I inevitably get somebody who says, this is devil worship.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not surprised.
You're going to hell.
But
It's great. And so then I try and reply nicely and calmly and
never engage.
I've actually had good success engaging people, because even when I've done Facebook advertising on blog posts or events and things like that, I will get people who go, this is my phone buzzing, sorry.
My phone.
This is evil, or this is whatever. And so I'll have a nice, polite, kind chat with them about it, about what their concerns are. And
well, that's very teacher-like of you.
And usually we come to some kind of like, oh, okay, maybe you're not so bad after all. Like, I'm no longer gonna like find you with my pitchfork.
Push pins.
One thing I wanted to. Oh, sorry. Were you gonna?
No.
Oh, I was just gonna say another thing I've heard is very useful when you are doing paid advertising is to ad stack. So if you do have, say you are super lucky and you get the Holy Grail, the BookBub featured deal.
I got that.
Did you? Oh, that's amazing. So maybe you can speak to this then, but what I've heard is that if Amazon sees the spike of sales that will inevitably happen from a BookBub deal, they think it's kind of wonky and you're doing something shady, and they might take action. So if you can stack it so that you've got a few
some from
Facebook
Facebook
ads beforehand,
Oh, to
so
drive
that
the
you can
traffic.
start raising that, and then when the spike happens, it looks more gradual. And
But the problem with that is that BookBub will come back to you and say, this is when your ad is running, and you have to get your prices all set, and you might have like a week to do it. And then you contact Amazon and you're like, can you price match, make it for free, make it for 99 cents. Usually if you're doing a BookBub the first time and you're not well known, you're going to have to give it away for free. They're not going to give you the 99 cents because of the amount of downloads you're going to get. They're not going to give you $25,000. They're not for a 99 cent book. So you have it short notice, and then you have to do all that work, but then you can't really plan that it's coming, so you would have to kind of try and keep your sales up all the time, which is exhausting.
I want my sales to be up all the time. That sounds wonderful.
But they didn't flag mine.
Cool.
But and then it kind of it tapers off. So I mean it spikes, but then you get a couple good days. The thing with BookBub is if you don't have a second out, it doesn't make much sense to do it
Yeah.
because it's so expensive, and like your second book, if it's a cheap book, will pay you back.
Yeah.
And the sales and the follow-up sales.
And the follow-up sales, like
Okay.
they'll all end up making your money back.
Yeah, in your series.
For the actual thing, but maybe not much more.
And I think probably in terms of ad stacking, that generally makes sense so that people see your book, you know, your target audience sees your book in a bunch of different areas and markets, different places they look, because it takes that repeated exposure in order for people to then go, oh, I'm going to buy this thing now. What else was I going to say about that? Oh, in terms of advertising and spending your money, it's true because Amazon, I haven't got up to my spend per day, which mine is actually set fairly low, which it might as well be, because it doesn't usually get up that high.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Amazon doesn't spend that much of my money per day, which is fine with me. I would rather them
Yeah, that
just
sounds
show
like
it
a
to the
nice-
people who are most likely to buy it. I want it to go to a target audience because that's who's going to be interested. Not everybody's interested in my book. Like I found it not worthwhile to do. I can never remember the difference. But so there's the ads that you can do on like your Kindle. Like my Kindle shows advertising when it's off. You know, you get $20 off your Kindle that shows ads of other books. I haven't found that to be targeted enough for my audience to make it worthwhile. Like I don't want that to show up for readers of all nonfiction books because I'm a specific market.
Yeah.
And so like I get ads for that on my Kindle. I've been getting a lot of romances lately and I have no idea why, because I don't read, it's not what I read. Like why are you and they're
It
more
must
expensive.
be romance season. It's crack open the romance
Yeah.
on the
Beach
beach.
reads.
Maybe and those ads tend to be more expensive than the ads that display
That's
in,
the
you know, when you
keyword
search
ads.
for the keywords ads where you search for something and they show up, you know, as like sponsored products that are
And you get
similar
like
to
1,000 keywords on Amazon.
You can add lots and lots, and doing as more keywords with all the authors like you, you know, there's like similar boards, whatever, also boards, that kind of thing is the way to
And
do
you
it.
get KDP Rocket will give you all those keywords.
Yeah, I need to do that sometime, I think. I haven't done that yet.
It's a good investment.
Yeah. So we've kind of bled into the third bit, which is our experiences about this part.
So, of just the whole advertising, spend your money on Amazon or BookBub. If you have a niche market, I would say check out some of the Comic-Cons because that is great advertising. If you do I did a win a free book thing. If you signed up for my newsletter, put your email in the thing, and then I just send everybody a free copy and put them in my newsletter. But that's tedious and it's a lot of work.
And also with the GDPR, you have to be very specific now that when you're that the free book is signing them up for the newsletter too.
And my understanding of GDPR is that you cannot you can't add somebody to your mailing list just because they signed up for your promo, your bonus, lead magnet, whatever you're calling it these days. That they have to specifically sign up for your mailing list and give you explicit permission to use their email address and in either just to email them and or can't remember what it's called, but like to do the social media stuff, you know, where you upload your mailing list to find lookalike.
If they audit you, if they ask you where their information is being used, then you need to be able to tell them and give them that information.
But I think they need to actually also opt in to you using their information in that way.
So y'all need to go to the website and just sign up for the newsletter, and we're covered that way. If they go to our websites and
as
sign
long
up,
as it's not explicitly like put in your email address to get my freebie, whatever it is.
Yeah,
it
you
is,
guys don't get nothing free
you
anymore.
have to sign up for the newsletter specifically.
You get free news.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna start doing away with my lead magnet, my freebie, because I want people who want to hear from me, not that they're willing to trade their email address for this free thing I'm going to give them, which they may or may not read and may or may not ever open my email ever again.
That reminds me of one of the disadvantages of doing BookBub is that you kind of don't find your specific, you find your specific niche people, but you're grabbing in from all around it too. So you have a higher probability of getting more negative reviews because they're just getting it as a free book and they're not
I see.
necessarily like interested
into
that.
your
Yeah,
thing.
like my book club went into horror, and someone wrote back and was like, "Well, I don't like zombie books," and I'm like, "Okay,
You
well,
read it. It's
that's
free.
okay."
Yeah,
Um,
any bad reviews are still reviews.
Some bad reviews are
I would rather
actually
have a bad
good
review than no
reviews,
review.
You know?
Well, it depends. And in reviews, I think in general help people to kind of know and understand if that is the right book for them and that if that's a book that they want to read. If it's not, I mean, I would rather only have people buy or get for free even my books that are people that are going to connect with them and want to read them. I don't really want to waste people's time with
Yeah.
stuff that isn't for them. So,
All right. Does that sound like we've finished our topic, or do we have more to say about advertising for authors?
well, I would say actually, advertising is long felt and still feels kind of overwhelming to me.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot to, even like what we've been talking about. Okay, there's Amazon ads, and there's two different types of Amazon ads. There's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's BookBub, there's other things that we haven't even talked about, and it's a lot. There's Google ads, there's and so that's overwhelming. That's an overwhelming amount of things to kind of deal with because they each do it slightly differently. You can use MailChimp for Facebook ads. You can there's so much. And so I would say pick one thing that seems doable, that seems, try it out on one platform, try it out with a small daily spend, have your budget be kind of small and play around with it. Run A/B tests if you can, run two different ads for the same thing, see which one performs better. With certain, like Facebook will let you do that. And just play with it and see, and don't get too bogged down into it because you can get, I think, really consumed with it. Like when I first started doing Amazon ads, I would check it all the time. And now I check it.
Refresh.
Now I kind of, I check my credit card statement to see how much I've been spending. And I don't worry about it as much. I'll go in there every so often to try and refresh keywords or add more keywords or, similar authors. I should KDP Rocket sometime, add that to my list of things to do. But don't get I don't know, for me it doesn't, I works better for me if I don't get too stressed out and anxious about it. Or if when I tried Facebook ads, I gave it a try, I spent $30 or something in a very short amount of time and went, and then realized, no, I don't know if this is really a great, for me right now, with what I'm doing, with the time I have to invest, maybe this isn't the best.
And that's been my observation for myself is I haven't ducked into paid advertising very much at all. I've done Bargain Booksy and Free Booksy when I do a book launch. That's about my experience of paid advertising right now. And I'm just concentrating on writing the next book, and that's my advertising, is trying to build up that backlog of titles. And once I get more in there, then I'll feel comfortable doing. And that sounds like a really balanced way of doing it, just picking one and playing with it for a little bit and
seeing, and maybe you get good results, or maybe you get more comfortable with it, or maybe you go, I don't think this one's for me, and then you just try something else and give that a try for a bit.
And if you want to have some resources, Mark Dawson writes a lot about Facebook ads. Brian Meeks writes a lot about Amazon ads, so you can check those out. Mark Dawson has a paid course that's might even be open right now called Ads for Authors, but it opens only two times a year, once or twice a year, I think. So you could go check that out too.
One of the things that when I'm considering, do I want to go with some traditional, do I want to become a hybrid author, I think of what advertising will they help with, what advertising are people getting versus what I'm doing myself. And one of the things that I was talking to another writer friend who is all traditionally published is that they don't have the BookBub ability
No,
because they have no control. So that was a huge like, wow, well maybe.
Yeah, you don't have any control over pricing if
Yeah.
you're traditionally
you know, you
published.
can't do sales, you can't do, you know, which for some, yeah, which mostly generally do on Amazon if you're in the select program anyway, which
Also-
I'm not, but
Also, in traditional publishing, I mean, the traditional publishing has changed the industry, and they now expect you to do your own marketing.
Mhm.
They don't have, that's one of the things they'll ask you beforehand, like, what kind of platform do you have? You know, do you have a following on Twitter? Do you have a following, like, whatever, they're going to ask you to do that for yourself.
yeah, especially for nonfiction.
Especially for nonfiction.
Which is why I decided to stop writing my book proposal and just write the book and publish it myself, because I went, oh, I don't know.
It's just about as much work.
Well, just because I don't,
Yeah.
I kind of looked at my numbers and I went, I don't know if my platform's like, it's not impressive. I mean, I think it's fine and it's growing, but
It's getting there.
maybe.
In fact, oh my gosh, I just heard this on the Career Author podcast. I don't know, do you guys listen to that one at all?
No, we
Okay.
just depend on you for all of our news and,
I listen
and
to
info.
So Dan Brown, you know, like
Yeah.
if you're going to have an agent and a publishing company, you know, putting money into advertising and marketing for a big name author, it would be Dan Brown, right? So when his latest book came out, there was the whole, you know, the book at the end of the book, there was no place for them. They didn't put anything in there about go to the website or go sign up for the newsletter. They didn't capture any email addresses of all those thousands of people that bought that book.
Is that
It was
because
just nothing.
he's just so big that it doesn't really even?
Well, it just
Oh,
proves
yeah.
that they're not going to do any marketing for you. If they're not going to do any marketing for Dan Brown, then they're not going to do any marketing
true.
for you.
But
So-
didn't he start out him and his wife selling his first book out of the back of his car?
I don't know that story.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
there you have it. Even if
Well-
you're traditionally published, you have to do your own marketing.
Yeah.
I guess
okay.
it's part of picking what platform too, because I'm trying to pick. I'm seeing that a lot of people don't do Facebook and Twitter, and I'm like, you know, I'm still at the point where like, how much do you share on your author Facebook? Like, how much, other than just like news releases and.
That sounds like a good topic for another week.
Yeah, I could answer that, but we can move on instead
Well,
if
it's
you
just,
want.
we're supposed to wrap up.
All right. So I guess that's it for this week.
We'll talk about that another week.
Thanks for
Good
watching
question.
today.
Should we have
Um,
Don pop up and say hi? And
We have someone in our studio
come on,
audience.
come say hi.
You can stick your head in and wave.
That's all.
There we go.
Some of my favorite ladies here. I know all three of them, and I was glad to be able to stop by.
All right.
Thanks for
Thanks, Don. I do have one class I want to plug. I have a class on self-editing and critique groups this Thursday morning, 9:30 to 11:30.
Too.
Okay.
Which is that if you would like to join me for an online write-in where we all put our butts in the chair and write for an hour and a half, I will be doing that again tomorrow, which is Tuesday. It's on Tuesdays from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Pacific time with Word Crafters. So if you go to, I don't know what their address is, Word Crafters,
I'll put a link
In
down
Eugene.
below.
Word Crafters in Eugene.org. You can join me and we can all sit around and write and ignore each other. It's great.
It can be summer movie time for your kids at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. All right. So please join us next week, Monday, June 25th, either live on YouTube or in our studio audience like Dawn is today.
And we'll embarrass you too. by
At
making you come up
Tsunami Books. We'll be talking about writing with kids during the summer vacation.
and how to stay sane. Maybe.
So if you enjoyed,
If we make it.
if you make it to next week, if you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have a question
Down
or
there,
a
down
comment
there.
for us, then leave it in the comment section below this video. We are Valerie Ihsan.
Julie Dawn.
And Joanna Bartlett.
And we'll see you next Monday at 11:11. Now go
Go
right
right
now.
now.